Thank you, Annabelle. Great to be back. It's a year. Last time we met in Prague. Today our topic is a little different. We are talking about insights from terrestrial radio in-car listening. Very interesting topic. Quickly, to me, Gereon, as Annabelle introduced me, from Xperi. Xperi is a tech company. We are around for 30 years. We have deep roots into radio. We believe in over-the-air radio, very important. You're going to see this through our presentation. I have been in the automotive industry my entire life, so if you have any questions related to that, I'm happy to answer it. DTS is one of our brands, and DTS AutoStage is our hybrid radio solution. I'm sharing that information because we are talking about in-car listening information. You should know where we get the data from, right? That's the reason why I'm sharing this. Our hybrid solution was implemented by 12 OEMs. And if I talk implementation, what we do is we are embedded into the native radio from the OEM. That's very important for us. I said over-the-air radio is the most important thing, and we have seen this in the presentation before, the numbers of radio listening, and that's why we support it so deeply. Having that said, we have 12 OEMs, we have over 11 million cars running on the roads, and I have heard a lot of good things from Edita, Martin, Stefan, and many others to make radio more relevant, more prominent. And we have done this actually with over 2 billion events that we have served back to the car to make radio more exciting and interesting. And what I mean by this is you still get the radio over the air, but we are capable with an IP connection in order to supplement it with more information like artist images. But this is topic of a different discussion, and we have covered this in many presentations before. Actually, we believe so much in radio, and that radio is so important that we say our solution is for free for broadcasters, right? You're the most important part of it. It's your content that needs to get in the car, and we believe that should be free for you, right? And I think that is a right approach for the industry. Jackie, you mentioned before it's about collaboration. It's bringing the industry together. It's public broadcasters, commercial broadcasters. Yes, we do this worldwide. We are not doing this for the different radio groups. We are also doing it for the different radio standards. That's DAB, right? That's HD radio, digital radio China, FM radio. We do this across the world. And this is just an image of where cars running in the world with DTS AutoStage. And this is very important for the car manufacturers because they have one solution in the car, right? And this gives the same experience for radio, regardless where the radio is. In Madrid, in Cologne, in Shanghai, in Detroit, wherever, it should be the same experience. This is a baseline for you to understand where we get the data from. And again, it's a story of cooperation, and what we show to you today is the information we can provide back for infrastructure planning around DAB as such. This is information from the car, directly from the car, and these are cars equipped with DTS AutoStage. That's very important because we only can measure these cars, right? And if you look at the numbers, it's quite fantastic, isn't it? UK, almost 92%, Germany, 95% of DAB listening. That's a good message to the radio industry. We're seeing really that the cars are listening to DAB. And we go a little bit further into this because there's more to share if you look at the numbers. We put a little overview together showing how the listening has developed over the years in the car. And we're actually in the car since 2020 with our hybrid radio solution. But what you see is that there is a big prominence of DAB listening in the car. Yes, there's still some analog, which we expect because that's the reality, but the majority of the listening is actually happening on DAB. Also very important to see is a change in Spain, right? We have 7 DAB stations in 7 DAB stations that's being listened to in Spain. The main topic is I was actually surprised when I got in a car in Spain, an Uber, the Uber driver was listening to DAB, and I said, oh, that's a good sign, right? It's out there, even so that maybe test stations, right? But it's picking up, the audience is listening to it. And we go a little further, actually, into a few markets to talk that through in a little bit more in detail. Before we do this, Here's an overview about Madrid. And what we do with the measuring that we have in the cars, we can create heat maps. Heat maps simply, if it's red, that's where the highest density of listening is, and then it's fading out into the blue areas, which is a little colder, where you have less DAB listening. Again, this is for the car only. This is one station we have picked for Madrid. We have this for all stations. The listening is 14% of DAB in Spain. These are the top broadcasts that we have identified for listening in the market. While we were doing the research for the presentation, we looked into the numbers, and there's always some fun facts that come up. Is what is the most listened Italian radio station in Spain? It's actually RTL Italia. That's just something we came across and thought that would be interesting to share. It's the power of data, the information you can provide back. I said we met in Prague a year ago. We had a deep dive in the UK together with the BBC. Very thankful for this. For this year, we decided to do something different, and we looked into 2 different markets. One is Germany, and we looked into Spain before, right? And we want to show you a little bit the insights of the data we are getting, and we did this obviously in collaboration with our partners. So we were looking on the top broadcasts that are listening in the car, and again, we're talking about the cars that are equipped with our solution. Radio Bob, Martin, I think you have a smile on your face at that moment that Radio Bob in 80s is present. We have WSR3 here. And we were showing you the heat maps before, right, from Madrid. This is the heat map from Germany, from Radio Bob, where you see the DAB listening. That's the DAB listening from SWR3. Now, if you have this data, you can actually look at the data and say, okay, do I miss certain areas with DAB transmissions, right? Or we have the same data for FM. Where do we have maybe too many FF transmitters? Can we replace them? Can we do a new infrastructure play here? We have obviously invested a lot of money in the infrastructure. How can you utilize the best? And that's really the power of the data that we have. If we go a little bit more into detail, right? 83% of SWR3 listening is happening on DAB. Fantastic number, right? They have 6 DAB properties, and the 70% of the remaining listening is on analog, on 56 analog properties. That's a big difference, right? That's making an argument for DAB. And I see Jackie smiling here. So in overall, SWR3 have 62 properties in Germany, but again, the majority of the listening is on DAB with the 6 properties. If we look to Radio Bob, we see a similar story, actually. And Martin mentioned it before, with DAB+, the success wouldn't be possible. And this is basically what the data is proving here also. 95% of Radio Bob's listening in the car is happening on 7 DAB broadcast properties. Fantastic message, again, to the digital radio community here. And the rest of the listening is on analog stations. We also took a look at it, and we just did a comparison in order to show where the listening is taking place in the car. This is all DAB listening, right? Across Germany, you mentioned the coverage that you have. And then we looked, where's actually the FM listening happening in more in the southern area of Germany. So the key message that I want to bring across is that with the hybrid solution that we have, obviously, it's serving 2 things. One is to make the radio listening experience better in the car, right? We need to get radio to the level where it had been all the years, but we need to make sure that it stays on the level where it is. And we only can do this with good data, with good content. And if I say good data, I mean good metadata. Metadata is so important nowadays, and we covered this in many discussions before, but you need to have a good visual radio experience nowadays in the car. You have bigger screens, right? You have multiple screens in the center display, on the passenger driver display, on the rear seats you have displays. These needs to be served with content, and that's what the radio industry needs to do in order to stay relevant, right? And you do this, in best case, through a hybrid radio solution. That's one topic, right? So the listener is key to this. But then the other topic is also what we can give you back is this data, which I think is extremely valuable for the radio stations. This is just a snapshot of the infrastructure planning. We also have feedback on the day part listening, on the top songs that were listened on your radio stations, how long were people listening to your radio station. That's all information that we're giving back because that's relevant for your business because you need to plan, you need to make the right decision. And at the end, it's an ecosystem, right? That's the broadcast industry, the radio industry, and we experience here ourselves in that also as partner in order to make and keep radio successful, right? We have a little demo stand up there if you're being interested in it. Otherwise, you can get more information here. But I hope the insight that we provided is a little eye-opening with technologies that are being available today, what information is available to the broadcast industry in order to look into how the infrastructure planning can take place, how you can even improve your DAB listening, and what you need to do with FM listening if it comes to the car. Thank you.